Alright, so we're at our halfway point, going to get the MORryde independent suspension installed. Another hiccup today, lost another valve stem, but we are in Sycamore, Missouri, and everybody around said that we had to go to this place. Sikeston, Missouri. And everybody told us that we had to go to this place called Lambert, where their claim to fame is the Throwed Roll. I did not mispronounce that. It's a Throwed Roll. You can check it out at www.throwedrolls.com, but we're going to go in and get some food. What an interesting place. So something to consider when they throw these rolls. They're huge. So just finished up eating at Lambert's. Wow, the food was delicious. The rolls were hot, and they come in hot. Some of those guys that are throwing the rolls have some pretty good arms. But highly recommend if you're ever here and going along the I-55 route, or if you're like us heading out north to get your install. But have to do it, you guys. Come visit this place. throwedrolls.com. All right, so we've made it to MORryde here in Elkhart, Indiana, and just wanted to give you a couple of things that just to be ready for. First off, they do have RV parking. It's very similar to if you've ever stayed overnight at a rest stop or anything. Very close to each other. As you can see, this is the gap between the slide and this RV. It looks like a Lux RV from the factory. But one of the things I do want to show you guys is when you guys come, a couple of things is one is on an angle. So if you have blocks, you're going to need blocks for the front legs, or your legs will be like just way up off the ground. Another thing is that if you have a rig, I know the newer ones, they put the power source at the back. Our power source is right here, which is right near the front of the rig. Have a 50 amp extension or a 30 amp extension depending on your rig, because what happens is, let me walk back here and show y'all, is the outlets are right here, which is all the way at the back of our rig, and we absolutely had to have the longer extension. Again, you can see this is another customer right here. Very tight spaces, but enough room to where you can do what you need to do. And there's a train station nearby too, or a train tracks, because we've heard about 4 trains go by since we've been here. But yeah, so we're here Sunday night, and we're looking forward to getting seen Monday morning. Have to be up and have the truck hooked up at 6. I don't know if I'll get any footage of that because I'm sort of doing this with just a friend of mine, and 6 a.m. is pretty early, and I'm sure it's going to probably still be dark. But let me show you guys one other thing as I squeeze in between these rigs. Is here at MORryde, a couple of tips, a couple of other things. Is you have all of the workshop bays. They said that they'll have a 6 a.m. wake-up call, so to speak. And the other thing that you guys, if you have time, like we got here, if you head that way, I don't really know what the direction is right now, but if you head that way towards the flagpole, on the other side of the flagpole, there's an entrance to a trail, and that trail goes for miles. So if you have bikes, it's bike friendly, or if you have dogs, you want to take your dogs for a walk, or if you just want to get some good, just a nice, easy workout in, this will be a good way to do that. So hopefully tomorrow goes great. We'll see what happens. Just sitting waiting to pull into our bay. The first thing they had us do is pull up, and the second we pulled up, they started crawling under to record, or to get some measurement. All right, they got us backed in, and now we're just hanging out. So we just got our rig backed in. Do want to give a shout out to the MORryde crew for extreme professionalism. Like, starting at 5:45 in the morning when the first gentleman came up to talk to us. Incredibly professional. I was taking the some of the other RVers that are getting the same install that we are getting, was taking their trash to the trash for them, but they got us backed in. You have to ask to be hooked up to electricity if you need it to be hooked up. And the other thing that they ask is they'll open up the compartment where they installed the actuator, and they're gonna say, hey, where do you want it? Now, I hadn't put any thought to that. I didn't know to think to even ponder where I would want my actuator to be. But I asked him, I was like, hey, what's the best place? And he said, I would suggest here. It makes it easy for servicing. He goes, it's a little bit more work initially, but he goes, but ultimately I'm thinking for you. Once again, phenomenal customer service. And then other than that, I'm gonna walk in, even though I have the dog, so I'll be hanging outside today, and it's nice and cloudy, which is great. But I'm gonna walk in. They serve you lunch every day, but you have to get your order in by 10:30. So we're gonna get going, and I'll keep you guys updated. So it is 7:40. They just put us in about an hour and a half ago and lifted it up. Axles off, tires off, hanging out. So right about a 5-minute walk, I guess, from where our rig's being worked on is the River Greenway Trail. And luckily school started up here, and it's empty, and so able to take the dogs for a little bit of a walk, get some energy out of them since we've been hanging out in the truck this morning. And so we're gonna walk on down and enjoy this beautiful green weather. Plus, we're not in Texas, so it's not like 1,000,000 degrees. But we're gonna do a walk, and then we're being told that they're gonna give us a behind the scenes tour. So let's see what happens. Come. Hey, good dogs. I am renaming the Greenway to Mosquito Trail. And so we're heading back, and we'll try again after I get some bug spray. I do want to show you guys one thing. We just popped off the trail, and as we're walking, 2 little deer. Goes to show you that nature's everywhere. You just gotta keep looking for it.
Got a riser on there, a tube welded to the frame. We do that on all of them. It varies in size. It's based upon the D dimension of the unit. What I mean by D dimension is we measure from the frame to the top of your axle, and then we have to match that. Now, if you're running nose high, we're going to add to that measure.
Okay, so just finished the tour of the factory, which was amazingly neat. They do a lot of really innovative and cool things here, and one of the neat parts is Gary, the gentleman that was taking us through, says a lot of our designs or adjustments to what we build come from customer input as well. So anyway, the footage will speak for itself, but definitely if you come, ask and see if someone's available to give you a tour of the area. It's not a long tour. I think we walked around for about an hour looking at everything. I can't recommend it enough. But that being said, it is 3 p.m. and they finished work at 2, which is great because pop the slides out inside the workspace, and now we're just relaxing. And at some point tonight, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna show everybody what they did. The things I know that they accomplished, because I was able to watch them as I was waiting around today. They took the axles off in like what seemed like an hour. Cut off the shackles where the shackles were welded to the frame, and then the measurements that they took at 6 a.m. this morning, they put in and welded custom bars to make sure that the height of the rig was proper based off of like how the weight was for each individual rig. And so I'm excited to see what they did. They also, I saw them do a lot of I don't know if it's the right word, but plumbing for their hydraulic lines. Like there's a box up front where my next to my generator now, or a reservoir for that. And so at some point I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna sort of poke around and take some video footage and give you like a day-by-day recap of what all happens. So I'm gonna relax for right now. Okay, so I said I'd give you guys a rundown of the things that I can really see that happen. So one of the things they added was this Hydrostar. It's basically the reservoir for their brake that actuates the brakes. And they just drilled a tiny hole out and ran this, what appears, it feels like a high pressure line, all the way down and back. And then back here, I showed you guys a video of them dragging the axles out. Currently axle-less. And they welded these bars on. They ground down the mounts where the shackles were. And for some reason I'm guessing they had to just pull it away, the underbelly, because of how they mounted the bar. But so yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Also, you can see they lowered my sewer pipe, and that was pretty much day one. They spent a lot of time on the wiring and a lot of time making sure we had nice sturdy welds all the way across. But so this is the end of day one. We'll see what tomorrow brings. You know, I've seen a lot of weird views, beautiful views, but interesting views in my time in an RV. But this is a new one. Good morning and day two. We're all closed up and out of the house, ready to see what happens. Interesting fact, we had a crazy storm last night. Like Zeus was playing target practice with someone around here last night. But the cool part is they were very quick to close these doors, and so we had no problem. Anyway, let's enjoy the day. Okay, day two. No major changes along the front. No changes along all the way to the back. But this was what I was excited to see at the end of it today. Is they have mounted all 3 axles, well 6 axles I guess, and they're welded. And the last thing that they have to do, I'll show you here in a sec, is they just have to run the rest of the lines now that they have these in. But if you look up and underneath, they've cleaned it all back up, sealed it all back together, sprayed great stuff where they needed to spray great stuff. So all in all, very, very happy so far. Again, everybody incredibly professional and very, very nice. Gave us some good tips of where to go eat, great tips of where to go just hang out in general. And then one last thing, this is an important one, is, and this was my number one question, was where do I jack up on these independent suspensions? Where's my jack, my lift point? And we get a little bit closer, but so tire would be right here, right? Your lift point is that corner. And I asked him, like, can that lift what we need to? That he said absolutely, it'll lift everything that you need to lift. So just a cool tip there. Walk around to the other side, show you guys this. This is all the remnants of the old system. And then over here the light may be a little bit better so you can see the axles and everything, but this is what we got. Pretty excited about it. We'll see how our drive goes tomorrow. We got 1,000 miles in the next 2 days to drive. So anyway, help me get some sleep. 5 a.m. comes early. So we just took it on a quick test ride. They always have you go around the block to see the difference. And man, what an amazing difference. We went over train tracks, we went over some bumpy roads, we stopped. Like, this is just driving it a quarter of a mile. It already feels, my TPMS fell off. It already feels like a different trailer and truck combination. Absolutely incredible. But we're gonna get on the road. They're gonna take some last minute measurements. We're gonna get on the road, and they're gonna take, we got 700 miles to go today. So. Okay, so 20 hours on the nose back, and man, that was a drive. We made it almost 700 miles last night, and we drove the remaining 350 today. But whew. So thoughts on after towing with brand new suspension, basically. for 1,100 miles, and it's incredible. I think some of the bumps in the road you can't control, right? Like, they're just how your truck and the trailer interact. You're gonna get some jostling, but what I can say is, when like we boondocked in right outside of a Walmart parking lot, there was a huge pothole. It was like 4 inches deep, probably 3 feet across. Went over it in the truck, was bounced really hard. Looked in my my business side, so like the plumbing side of the trailer, was getting ready to go in, and I'll tell you, the trailer didn't even move. The tires just went down and came back up, which was, it's worth it. Time will tell how long it'll last, but because we're gonna put a lot of miles on it. But so far, so 1,100 miles in, thrilled. Absolutely a world of difference. But I'm gonna go in and get some sleep. It's been a long 2 days.